LSU victorious over McNeese State 10-3 on a Tuesday night at the box. Get them back in the win column now, 32-6 overall in the year. Of course, they obviously remain idle at 10-5 in the Southeastern Conference. Go ahead and smash the like button, please, if you have not already. Get subscribed up to the YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast app. Just search Musso at the Box. Hit subscribe. You can take the show with you wherever you go. There is a lot to talk about from LSU's victory over McNeese on Tuesday night, and a lot of it's good. I understand it's McNeese State. It's easy to look at that just in a box score and be like, well, it's what you should have done. Now go do it against the SEC. And there's some truth to that. But there's also a lot of, well, hold on a minute. That's a good team that you just dismantled. McNeese was off to their best start in school history through 32 games. That's awesome to see. You took them to task. You knew that team was going to be game. LSU, are you coming in off that weekend against Auburn still licking your wounds? That was the first thing to really pay attention to tonight. LSU is absolutely game, and they were going to have to be because McNeese was coming to play. And again, it's a good team. And if you weren't playing your best, they would have gotten you. Like, they would have. You saw some pretty nice arms out of the McNeese State bullpen, and you had your bullpen step up in massive spots throughout that game, specifically Connor Benj, and Maverick Rizzi. My goodness. We'll talk about Maverick Rizzi. You saw a change at the top of the lineup that I want to get into with Danny Dickinson moving into the leadoff spot, Curiel moving down a spot, as well as Jones. You saw Ethan Fry slot into the cleanup. It worked very well at the top of your lineup, so I have some thoughts there. And just overall, LSU's offensive, again, I hate the word approach, but LSU's offensive plan and their execution of the plan, they were much more in character. And I'll get into why and whatnot. And it should be pretty obvious. I mean, it should have looked different to all of you as well. So all in all, y'all, a really awesome night for LSU and one that they needed. Like, that's really the main takeaway before we get into some individualized things. That's what LSU needed first and foremost after coming off that weekend. They needed to get back out on the diamond against a pretty good opponent and have success. And they needed to look like LSU. And they did that. So, big giant check mark. Now you'll turn your attention to Alabama, who comes in Thursday, Friday, Saturday for your Easter weekend series to start the second half of conference play. All right, some individuals. We're going to start with Maverick Rizzi because how can you not? You know, the conversations that we've had about Maverick Rizzi on this show all the way back into preseason is man the stuff, hold the stuff, the stuff. And you saw it at times this year, but the deal with Rizzi was kind of the deal with a lot of other pitchers on LSU's team, the amount of strikes consistently. That was a big problem for him. Really, I don't really want to say his first couple outings of the year were really good. So after that, that's when that really kind of started to rear its ugly head for Rizzi. And the last month or so, you've started to see a change. In the last two outings in particular, and tonight, none bigger. So Maverick Rizzi, think about the position in the ball game that he was brought in. That was the fifth inning. And, you know, Connor Wares didn't have his stuff, and we'll get to it. And it's just, it's hard to fully move yourself into his corner when there's still outings like this. But Rizzi comes in, runners at the corners, and one out. He immediately gets ahead of the first hitter that he faces, right? And mixes well. Fastball, slider, goes back. The hitter, for what it's worth, it was Edwards Jr., who had a home run tonight. He was awesome. And is one of McNeese State's best hitters on the night. So again, this is a tight spot that you put him into. And he gets ahead, throws a couple nice breaking balls, Credit Edwards. He fouls off a couple of fastballs, so Rizzi goes back to the slider, just doesn't have, the release point on it and hits the guy. And that stinks. You don't want to see somebody hit in a 1-2 count. But it wasn't like, man, the slider was just nowhere close at all in that at-bat. He got away from him. He hit him. After that, he retired 9 in a row. And that loaded the bases. He goes punch out, both on fastballs. One of them 98, the other one 97. And that's the other thing with Rizzi that was so encouraging tonight is we have seen that velocity from him in spurts. Like one outing, he'd go out there, the first few would be up there, and it'd sink back to 94, 95. Then the next time out, it'd be mainly 94, 95. Tonight, he was consistently at 96 to 98 miles per hour with some ridiculous arm side movement on that two-seam, and even his misses were small. But the thing that stands out first and foremost with Rizzi is the strikes. Where we started this conversation is where we kind of ended. Maverick Rizzi against Auburn threw 64% strikes. Tonight, Tuesday, against McNeese, 75% strikes from Maverick Rizzi in that ball game. You look at his final line, it's 2 2/3 shutout. He gave up 1 hit, didn't walk anybody. You're not going to normally do that when you throw 75% strikes, and punched out 6. So, if that's what you're going to start getting out of Maverick Rizzi, that's a major, major, major step up in your bullpen. Now, he threw 41 pitches. Probably see him at earliest Friday. So we'll see how he can keep going, if he can keep building on it. But that's just a massive step in the right direction for Maverick Rizzi. His best outing on the year by far. He was awesome. The sequencing of the pitches were fantastic. Again, even the misses were small. Maverick Rizzi was awesome. Jacob Myers. Let's talk about him real fast as well. Jacob Myers, that's 2 times in a row. He was fantastic against Auburn. Late in that game, he pitched the 8th inning on Friday against Auburn and mowed him down, had a couple strikeouts, didn't walk anybody. 2 straight outings without a walk for Jacob Myers. Fastball's up to 98. Also, no 3-ball counts. And I like that more than anything. That's also the second outing in a row for him there. No 3-ball counts. Keep building. Keep building with Jacob Myers. He was great. Connor Benj, thought he was really good. I know he hit the first batter of the 5th inning fine. What he was brought in to do, he did. He came in there, tight spot, needing to put out the fire, and he did that. Got the strikeout, so awesome. And then William Schmidt. I thought William Schmidt pitched really well. I don't really get the hate for William Schmidt tonight, and I've seen a little bit of it. Just kind of, in Twitter mentions and whatnot. William Schmidt threw 63 pitches, 40 of them for strikes. He didn't have a 3-ball count in the game until the 4th inning. Unfortunately, that 3-ball count led to the 2-run homer. But okay, he fell, he fell behind in a couple counts, gave the double and the homer. Didn't bounce back from it as great as you would like. But before that, through 3 1/3, he started that 4th inning with a punch out. I thought William Schmidt was very good. I'm not going to criticize him for that outing at all. Punched out 4, only walked 1. Again, great number of strikes. I thought William Schmidt was awesome. I meant to start with Maverick Rizzi and then kind of move on a little bit, but I just kind of got into the pitching, so figured we'd go there. Let's get into the offense, but first, of course, Gotlit Light Installers, GotLitLights.com. Permanent outdoor landscape lighting, front yard or backyard, however you want to illuminate your outdoor space, Gotlit Light Installers. They can do that for you. Installation, custom design, maintenance, Gotlit Light Installers. Of course, temporary outdoor lighting for your private events as well. Custom cut, custom design, Install, maintenance, tear down, storage, got lit light installers. It's what they do. Book them for your private event. Wedding, anniversary, graduation party, got lit light installers. GotLitLights.com for your quote. Follow them on Facebook as well. Y'all smash the like button if you have not already. Okay, the offense. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's what LSU's offense looks like. So, what does that mean? Well, the fourth inning and the fifth inning are two great examples. First of all, you're up. You jump out to the big lead 4-0 through 2. But McNeese hits the 2-run homer in the top of the fourth. LSU comes back in the bottom half. Immediate response. You love to see that. A lot of hard contact on a line. LSU's out distribution tonight. 4 strikeouts, 8 groundouts, 8 flyouts. Single-digit flyouts and equitable with your ground balls. LSU was not expanding the zone tonight. LSU scored with 2 outs tonight. They hit with 2 strikes. With runners in scoring position, they were phenomenal. They hit 384. Before that Auburn weekend, LSU was around 350 with runners in scoring position for the season. Yes, that includes SEC play. So I would once again say everyone who's been in my mentions the past, 2 days since the Auburn series saying LSU just flat out can't hit, that is a falsehood. I don't know where that ever came from. But what I love tonight, and we'll get to the change at the top of the order, but what I love tonight, obviously, is the bounce back from Jared Jones, and we'll get there. But you had the production throughout the lineup again. They, again, hit the ball hard, not far, on a line. The distribution of outs was much more equitable. And because of that, you see 10 runs on 13 hits and only 8 guys left on base. They made a fantastic adjustment in a short amount of time. So, big credit to that. And again, to our opening convo of the show, well, it's McNeese, you should do that. LSU got handcuffed by Nichols, who's worse than McNeese. So yeah, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to take it and say, nice job. You could have still been sleepwalking. You could have still been licking your wounds. You weren't. You got back to work and you had great success and you looked like yourself. You looked much more in character at the plate. And it resulted in something that we have been accustomed to seeing from this LSU team. The change at the top of the lineup. I'll be honest with y'all. Right when I saw it, the lineup was posted around 6 o'clock. Right when I saw it and I saw Dickinson in the leadoff spot, I didn't love it. And it had nothing to do with his ability in that spot. Of course, Danny can hit leadoff. We've talked about that since the preseason as well, where it's just been like, you saw him in that spot in scrimmages, and it makes sense. He's got average to above average speed. He can change the scoreboard with one swing. He can also get himself into scoring position with one swing. He works counts. All things that Jay wants in a leadoff hitter. All things you want in a leadoff hitter in baseball. He's more than capable of that. My first thought with it, honestly, was, man, if Jared Jones is struggling, is taking his protection away really the best thing? Like that is my thought when I first see it. Obviously, it worked out fine. He reached base his first 2 at-bats, saw 6 pitches in his first at-bats. In his first at-bat, got a single, and then worked a full count walk in the next one. And put the ball in play every time tonight, too. Excuse me. And then you look at Jared Jones. And he didn't really need protection, did he? Jones, 3 for 3, 3 RBI, had the home run. It was just what he needed. You want to see him obviously have the great weekend again here against Alabama, and I think he's certainly capable of that. I mean, that's another incredible take that people have had the last few years, that Jared Jones just all of a sudden can't hit SEC pitching. even though he's done it for 3 years now. But I expect him to obviously have a much better weekend than 1 for 13. It was good to see him come out and go 3 for 3, have the homer, the 2 singles, drive in 3, not strike out once, walk a couple of times. It's just what the doctor ordered. So, yeah, I look for Jared Jones to be back on track come this weekend against Alabama. And then Ethan Fry behind him. And this is where we can kind of get back into the discussion of the new top 3 in the lineup, because you still need somebody behind Jared Jones to protect if you're going to leave Dickinson in that spot. And look, it worked so well tonight. Run it back. Like, run it back against Alabama. Let's see what it can do. But Fry also needed to bounce back tonight. Ethan Fry, who was scalding hot, really started to struggle second half of that Oklahoma series, and obviously all the way throughout the weekend against Auburn. To see him have the 3 for 4 night with 2 RBI, that was great as well. Fry would be that next guy. Like, if you're going to keep Dickinson in the leadoff spot, and you need someone to protect Jones, Fry would be awesome because he can change the scoreboard with one swing just like Dickinson. And he leads LSU with batting average of runners in scoring position on the year. So, like, that would be perfect. I like the way they structured it. Run it back. Let's see what it goes. I admittedly didn't love it at first, but said let's watch it play out. And the way it played out, all right, let's run it back and see what you can get done with it. I think every starter had a hit tonight as well. Let's see. Every starter had at least 1 hit. Every single one of them. So that was awesome. That was awesome. 4 strikeouts, great. Again, didn't expand the zone. 8 flyouts, 8 groundouts, very equitable out distribution. 2 strike hits with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. I mean, y'all, the 4-run fourth, all of it started with 2 outs. Curiel started it with a 2-out single, and then you just, you got rolling. So that was awesome. Great win. Great win all around for LSU. Y'all smash the like button. Let's get some questions. Let's get some questions in, and then we can call it a night. Because your boy has to get up and go fill in for Alondra on off the bench in the morning. Let's see. Any questions, or y'all just talking amongst yourselves, which is also fine. LSU, what is your handle? Anyway, any word on Aaron Beatty? I see that a couple times actually now. LSU man. Okay, that's your hand. All right. Jay Johnson announced Gavin Guidry out for the season. Okay, that's interesting. Aaron Beatty, I'm not sure. I mean, that happened very late before the game. I'm sure Jay was asked about that tonight at some point. I'm sorry, I don't have an update for you in this immediacy. That happened. I mean, I was driving home listening on the radio when they were giving the starting lineup, which they do 3 minutes before first pitch, and that's when I heard it. So I'm not entirely sure. I would imagine it might just be a nick or a bruise, or maybe he got sick, something like that, for it to be that late of a scratch. So, we'll see. Gavin Guidry, let's talk about that. Because that's obviously massive. That is obviously massive news that Gavin Guidry is out for the season. And man, it just felt like it was heading that way. I wish I were more surprised, but that's ultimately the best path forward. And now what you can do, like the options that leaves, and it's disappointing. Like, it is very, very, very disappointing, because how good Gavin Guidry's been for you. Throughout his career, and has pitched in huge spots. And man, that could have been a great piece for you to get back down the back half of this season potentially and really ride throughout the postseason. But the more you watched this injury, And he just couldn't hit the benchmarks. I mean, I can't stress it enough. It was just such a legitimate day-to-day deal with Guidry. And I mean, Jay confirmed that when he talked about him leading into Auburn. Whereas, like, there's benchmarks. He's got to hit these benchmarks. And when he didn't, it's back to square one. When you get to that point and you know surgery can fix it, that is your option. We'll see how long it takes him to recover. But what this does is you can now redshirt Gavin Guidry. And have him back next season. Or he can go test the draft. But him not pitching for an entire season isn't going to be great for, his draft stock. So the best case here right now is he goes and has the procedure, he recovers, you redshirt him, and you have him back. That's disappointing. It just is. That's a weapon that you are hoping you could get back down the back half, and now you won't. Now, what I will say is you're starting to see guys look like they're turning the corner. We talked about Maverick Rizzi earlier. Man, if Jacob Myers could continue throwing strikes. Connor Benj has been really good at putting out fires for you here as of late. You know what you have in Cowan and Evans. William Schmidt, what does his role look like going forward? Could you possibly see him at the back end of your rotation, or is he back into your bullpen more? Jaden Newt, you haven't seen him in a little bit. I've actually wanted to see him tonight, but you have plenty of guys, and you have some guys who are really starting to pitch better. So there's never really a good time for this to happen, but it's better now when you do have guys, look like they're turning the corner than it would have been when LSU couldn't throw strikes at all outside of Cowan and Evans. So we'll see. But yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, I think, I consider that a loss. So I absolutely consider that a loss. Okay. Any more questions? Let's see. Hold on. I did see a few pop up when I was we answered that one in the middle of the. Oh man. Gosh, I lost it. Somebody asked about Noah, what do you think is Larson's issue this season? I think earlier in the year he was awesome, and he started making outs. His playing time went down a little bit, and then he started pressing and expanding the zone and doing things that you aren't accustomed to seeing from Larson, especially throughout his first year. And that's just led to less and less at-bats. And when you get less and less at-bats, it's hard to get into a rhythm. I thought he hit the ball hard in his 1AB against Auburn, and then tonight he got hit by a pitch. That's also been a deal. The last few times he's been put in the game, he's been hit by it or walked. I don't want to see – I want to see him be able to take swings. But they are making a concerted effort to get him a few more at-bats here. So I do think he started off great, and whenever he started to make a few outs, he started pressing, knowing that there's a platoon, and that's kind of the problem with that. It's worked well for LSU so far. I don't think it worked great in that instance with Larson. Sorry, I blanked. I saw somebody ask, forgive me, I didn't see your name, about Jake Brown potentially on the mound. Not going to happen. They've tabled that for good, I do believe. And I mean, why not? The kid's hitting, almost 330. So, yeah, just, keep him there. That is one thing, though. This team still needs a reliable left-handed pitching option. They really, really still need a reliable left-handed pitching option. A-Rod will wherever find the strike zone consistently? I don't think so. I don't think so right now. At this point, sample size continues to grow. And it was more balls than strikes for him again tonight. And that's very disappointing. That is, that's very disappointing there. But the rest of your staff's been really good. So, I'm pleased with LSU's pitching the last few weeks. Very pleased. God, if you get a little bit out of your offense, a little bit more out of your offense, you win that series at Auburn. So, but not to be. And that's in the past now. And look, they'll go face Alabama this weekend, try to get back on track in the league. Gray. I will not be at all 3 games this weekend. I'll be there Thursday and Friday. I will not be able to make Saturday. Easter obligations. All right. I'm going to go to bed. Y'all smash the like button on your way out. Please share. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Always fun. Have a little chat after the ball game. Subscribe, share, follow on social media, and be here next time for more Moose with the Box, presented by Got Lit Light.